Hi, I'm Pastor Ray. Welcome to DB Clips. How do you find contentment in an imperfect world? All of us tend to have this crazy idea, consciously or unconsciously, that if I can get my external world perfectly in order, then my internal world would be filled with peace, patience, and poise. That's a great recipe for discontentment in an imperfect world. King David in the Old Testament also lived in an imperfect world that was probably even more difficult in many ways than our world, and yet wrote these words, Psalm 23:1. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I shall lack nothing. Verse 1 is the thesis statement of the psalm. We can find contentment in an imperfect world because our good shepherd will meet all of our needs. That's in essence what he's saying. He will meet every one of our needs. In the rest of Psalm 23, David shows us how God meets our every need and contentment it brings. So let's walk through Psalm 23, and I'll give you an outline I found a few years ago that has been very helpful for me. How God meets all of our needs. Verses 2 and 3, he says, He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters, and He restores my soul. Here's the first way He meets our needs. He gives rest for my weariness. Matthew 11:28 through 30, Jesus says, Come to me, all who are weary and heavily burdened, and I will give you rest. He doesn't put burdens on us. He takes burdens off of us. He guides me in paths of righteousness for His name's sake. That's the rest of verse 3. Here's the second way He meets our needs. He guides me through indecisiveness. James chapter 1, verse 5. If any one of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without finding fault, and it will be given to him. The primary way He guides us is through the prayerful study of His Word. And then in verse 4, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Here's the third way He meets our needs. His presence conquers my fearfulness. Isaiah 41:10 says this, Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. God's presence in our life is His greatest gift to us. And then the rest of verse 4, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. Here's the fourth way He meets our needs. He disciplines my waywardness. Hebrews 12:5 through 6. He says this, My child, don't make light of the Lord's discipline, and don't give up when He corrects you, for the Lord disciplines those He loves. God will often use hardship in our lives to make us wiser, stronger, deeper in our relationship with Him. And then verse 5, You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Here's the fifth way that He meets our needs. He heals my brokenness. We live in a very broken world filled with sin, suffering, and enemies who can say and do very hurtful and hateful things to us. Psalm 34:18, it says this, The Lord is close to the brokenhearted, and He saves the crushed in spirit. And then in verse 6, Surely goodness and mercy will follow me all the days of my life. Here's the sixth way that He meets our needs. He satisfies all my neediness. 2 Corinthians 9:8 says this, God is able to make all grace abound to us, so that in all things, at all times, having all that we need, we will abound in every good work. And then the rest of verse 6 from our text, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Here's the seventh way He meets our needs. He is preparing for my eternal blissfulness. John chapter 14, verses 1 through 3, it says, Let not your hearts be troubled. I go to prepare a place for you. And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and will take you to myself, that where I am, you may be also. There's a fascinating relationship between Psalm 22 and Psalm 23. Psalm 22, King David is prophesying or predicting with unbelievable detail the crucifixion and the resurrection of Jesus 1,000 years before it happened and 500 years before crucifixion even existed. In Psalm 22:1, it begins with the words Jesus cried out on the cross, my God, why have you forsaken me?" So that we could say, Psalm 23:1, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." Jesus was forsaken so that we would never be forsaken when we give our lives to him. If you would like to learn more on this topic, go to our website at dbcc.com and find the sermon series, Life Without Lack, a study through the 23rd Psalm. God bless you.